In the times of COVID, we have lost some of our natural routines of self-care. Therapy has changed. Can't go to the gym anymore. A lot of people can't go jogging. A lot of things have changed. Your self-care routines have changed. So, how can we find the silver lining in this? How can we find the silver lining in our self-care routines, making a pivot and find a way to actually make them benefit us, our new ideas and our new tasks and our new ways of creating self-care and organization and consistency in our lives? How can we do that? Well, we have to remember, first of all, that self-care is a privilege. Therapists having the resources and finances for therapy, for medication, for going to the gym, for doing all of those things, those are a privilege. Those are a privilege that not everyone has. So when you're asked to strip all of that because you have to, the first thing that you need to realize is you had a privilege and it was beneficial, but it's not something that everyone has. So having to strip that down is something that you should see as you have to understand that other people have been having to do that their whole lives. Now, that being said, self-care isn't about going to the spa. It's not about going to the gym. It's not about taking a walk. Self-care starts here, and it starts here. My heart's on this side. Sorry, I swear I know that. Sincerely, though, how can you reinvent yourself and reinvent your forms of self-care so that you don't need outside things to help you? Because right now we don't have that. First, we need to remember that boundaries are love. People asking us to help, people asking us to do things, people asking us to do tasks. Setting boundaries is making it so that you are your best self in order to be there for other people when you choose to be. So your boundaries are in place as self-care. So remember to set them and be firm with them. I am a huge hypocrite when it comes to this because I do it a lot. I have people ask me for things and I'm like, yes. And then afterwards I'm like, oh, I should have said no to that. Keep our boundaries. Secondly, we need to remove things that are no longer serving us, distractions. You know, if you feel like you're on social media too much, take yourself off social media. If you feel like the news is hurting you, stop watching the news. If you feel like maybe I shouldn't have sugar at night, it gives me bad dreams, don't have sugar at night, though I do like a donut every now and then. It's important for us to take away these distractions, is my point. Keep a routine. It's really important that you have a routine that makes you happy. If you like to open your window and sit with the coffee and breathe the fresh air in the morning, do that. If you really get a lot out of having a 30-minute zone out where you don't watch TV, you don't listen to music, you don't look on your phone, and you just sit and listen to the earth or read a book or whatever, give that to yourself. Give yourself a routine that makes you happy, and also make sure you put in a few helpful distractions. It's funny because as I'm sitting here recording this, I'm like, what are my helpful distractions? What reminds me that I'm alive? What reminds me that I don't have to be perfect all the time? And there's a fly that's been flying around here the entire time I've been recording, and I decided to leave it. You know why? He's a helpful distraction. He reminds me that I don't have to be perfect, and it's okay. That there's going to be a fly, and I'm going to let him out a window at some point, and we're just going to say goodbye and be like part-time friends. Just remember to keep things, choose your battles, I guess, is my best way of putting that. And lastly, be kind to yourself. I recently was told this by my therapist, that you have to treat yourself like your best friend. And so what has stopped us from doing something kind for ourselves every day? I don't know why I never did it until recently. I actually have a reminder on my phone that rings every day to remind myself to do something nice for myself. And there's no boundaries with that. Buy yourself a cup of coffee. Sometimes I buy myself flowers. Sometimes it's just giving myself a bath at night, CBD bath. Sometimes it's eating my favorite food. Do something nice for yourself every day, because you know what? You start looking forward to it. And that, at the end of the day, your happiness is what self-care is all about.